We've all been fans of a celebrity at some point in our lives. We've all had that one favorite person, the star, who fascinates us with their charisma, success, and talent. These almost surreal figures, as if crafted by our screens, that we admire and secretly wish to become. For those of you who've been following the podcast since season 1, you already know I was a hardcore Beyoncé fan for years. Beyond her undeniable beauty, Beyoncé's talent, I mean. That girl can sing. And the little music-obsessed girl I was couldn't help but look up to this African-American icon and her incredible journey. But as the world quickly showed me that becoming Beyoncé might be a little complicated, when it came time to choose my future, my heart wavered. And it's my second passion that won. Media. I was addicted to Claire Chazal's news broadcasts and fascinated by Oprah's aura. The year I graduated high school, my attraction to journalism took over. It felt obvious to me, I'm going to be the French Oprah. Except that new career direction didn't go down so well at home. You see, I've always been a justice seeker at heart, and since I was a kid, I kept telling everyone that I wanted to be a lawyer. Since the age of 3, it was crystal clear. When people asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I'd answer without hesitation with my child voice, a lawyer. So for my parents, suddenly changing careers during such a crucial year like senior year, unthinkable. Bye-bye Claire Chazal, bye-bye Oprah. Hello, law school. Episode 16, Claire Chazal, Oprah, and Me. Hey guys, it's Lucrece. I'm back and thrilled to welcome you to a new season of Destiny Podcast. Many of you will probably relate to what I'm about to share. For us, children of immigrants, in addition to the cultural clash, there was also a generational one. Even though I was lucky to have a very understanding mom, there were still little things in everyday life that reminded me how different our ways of thinking could be. For many of our parents, there are real jobs, and then there are the other ones: lawyer, doctor, accountant, safe bets. Just listen to comedian Ahmed Silla talk about his dad's reaction when he said he wanted to become an actor. For them, being an actor, a singer, or anything artistic was basically a clown's job. So when I started telling my parents I wanted to be a journalist, my mom was stunned. But you've been saying you want to be a lawyer since you were 3, and now you just change your mind like that? My dad's take was even more blunt. Journalist? That's not a real job. You'll be a freelancer for 10 years, struggling the whole time. And I know many of you listening have been through the same thing. Our parents worked hard and sacrificed a lot to give us a better life. So when their child comes home talking about dreams of theater, cinema, or journalism, well, let's just say that wasn't part of the plan. So I followed their advice half-heartedly for 3 years. By the end of my 3rd year in law school, I was drained. Deep down, I knew I was pouring my energy into something that didn't excite me. My real dream, my true passion, was media, becoming Oprah. So I made a bold decision. I changed direction, in secret. I started the process to transfer to a different university, into a journalism program. And only after everything was finalized did I break the news to my mom. Mom, I'm changing majors. I'm going to study journalism. That's how I switched paths. During my penultimate year of study, I got the chance to interview for a position at Sony Pictures Television, the production company behind the game show Les Amours, which at the time was hosted by Tex. I was over the moon. Just landing an interview felt like a win. During the interview, my future supervisor asked me what I aspired to become. I told him, I want to be the French Oprah. I was obsessed with Oprah. He looked at me and said, "You know you're black, right? It won't be easy." For a second, I was thrown, but I didn't flinch. A few days later, he called me back to say he was taking me on. For 6 months, I got to live my dream, even though everyone said it was impossible. Even Mark, my boyfriend at the time, didn't really believe in me or my ability to break into French television. To him, I wasn't a Claire Chazal. He thought I was too lighthearted, too funny, and that the news world was too rigid for someone like me, and he wasn't wrong. As it turned out, the part of the media world that fit me best was game shows. There I was, this little girl who could only memorize her French or history lessons by turning them into song lyrics or pretending to be Claire Chazal, delivering the news from behind her desk. Looking back, it makes me laugh. People would offer me all kinds of methods to help me study. They worked for others, but not for me. I felt stupid. Then one day, I don't even know how, only God knows, I started singing my lesson. I'd been struggling for an hour to learn 2 lines, and suddenly I had memorized the entire thing just by turning it into a song. Another time, I sat at my desk, completely unmotivated to learn 2 full pages of history. Just to kill time, I started pretending to be Claire Chazal, reading the news. My lesson became the headlines, and boom, I knew it all. And just like that, I was finally stepping into the world I knew I was meant for. What others thought didn't match what I felt deep inside, and even though it wasn't easy, it was only when I listened to my inner voice that I truly began to thrive. Today, my parents don't blame me for not listening to them. Now, my dad wasn't wrong about everything. Working in media means embracing instability. No permanent contracts, dry spells, and believe me, we'll talk about dry spells later in this season. I've had my fair share. It's really tough to hold on to your dreams during those times. But despite it all, I still have the privilege of being among the lucky few who live from their passion. Sure, the income isn't always steady, but I make a living doing what I love. If I'm opening this new season with this topic, it's to remind you, you are meant to fulfill your dreams. Your dreams aren't doomed to die. We all have unique gifts and talents. If you can remember what sparked your heart as a child or teen, what you're naturally good at, then you're already holding the key to your happiness, your personal growth, and your destiny. Of course, following your passion requires sacrifice and discipline. You have to overcome the fear of lack, the doubts, the failures, the storms. And living your passion doesn't necessarily mean becoming Brad Pitt, Daju, Beyonce, Johnny Halliday, Oprah, or Claire Chazal. We won't all be ultra rich, but we'll be in the right place. Once you break through, you won't lack anything. And most importantly, you'll have peace. The satisfaction of not being trapped in a job that doesn't light you up. Living your passion doesn't necessarily mean quitting the job that supports you today. But ask yourself, wouldn't your life be better if, alongside your daily work, you had a passion project that brings you joy and maybe even some extra income? Over time, my inspirations have evolved, and I've come to understand that I'm neither Claire Chazal nor Oprah. I'm simply me, and that's more than enough. Being inspired by iconic figures is great, but they're just reference points, compasses to guide us toward our own path. They help us dream, help us see what's possible. But in the end, everything we need is already inside us. And that little spark we tend to overlook? It often takes us much further than we ever imagined. You have unique gifts and talents. Stop wasting your time living a life that keeps you from exploring what you were truly made for. Dare to follow the fire that burns within you. Who knows how far it could take you? Lesson number 17. Don't waste your gifts, explore your talents. Hey, this was Lucrece. Thank you for listening to Destiny Podcast.